Hey, it's Thursday, so we're here to talk about another bean to bar manufacturer. Today we are going to talk about, see if I can get no reflection, Original Beans, a European manufacturer, actually more like a bean selector. So let's talk about Original Beans. Original Beans was founded by Philip Kaufman in 2008. The name comes from what they do. They seek out the best cacao all over the world. Philip Kaufman was working at the UN, at a UN job in New York, and he quit that to create 100% regenerative business that gives more than it takes. His family has a long history of conservationism. He is a 7th generation conservationist, and one of his ancestors, Georg Hartig, said that their goal is to manage forests in such a way that future generations can reap the same benefit from them as the current one. So at the beginning I called them a bean selector more than a fine chocolate craftsman. Now they do make great chocolate, they do make bean to bar chocolate, they do make fine chocolate, but there's two things that this company focuses on. One is sustainability and environmental responsibility. That's their big focus. And number two is sourcing great beans. They have this whole system of rare, ultra rare, rarest of the rare. They have what they call the bean team that is out there looking for wild cacao, looking for new genetic varieties of cacao, helping the farmers. So they're all about the beans, like the name implies. They actually don't manufacture their own chocolate. The chocolate is manufactured by a Swiss company called Felschen. It's a 100-year-old Swiss family-owned company. I believe Philip Kaufman develops the recipes, but they are the major focus of Original Beans is on environmentalism, sustainability, and giving back through the chocolate. So Kaufman sourced Felschen because he believed they had the best equipment to create award-winning, additive-free, organic, direct trade, sustainable chocolate. So Original Beans is actually the first documented climate-positive supply chain chocolate maker. So what does that mean? Let's talk about this first. So they have this is an old wrapper. Their new ones have this hexagonal thing on the front. Old ones have a rectangle. So on this one, they have what's called the 1 bar 1 tree. So every time you purchase a Original Beans bar, you can go to their website and you enter this number down at the bottom on every bar, and it will show you where they planted a tree because you purchased this bar. And on the new bars, the 1 tree 1 bar is on the front, a little embossed logo. Same thing on the back, though. You go to the website and type in this number, and it'll tell you where your tree was planted. It won't tell you, like, it's not specific, but it will give you the area and the region and the animals that it's helping to protect, and basically how you're giving back by purchasing this bar. So for each tree that they plant absorbs 274 grams more CO2 than 1 chocolate bar emits in its production. So when you buy this bar, they're planting a tree, and it's not always a cacao tree. It could be a cacao tree. It could be a rainforest tree that supports cacao growth. So cacaos are understory trees, which means they like to be in the shade. So they like to have trees growing taller than them so that they're not in the direct sun. So they will plant legumes. They will plant fruit trees like mangoes. They will plant native rainforests. So just depends on where they are, what kind of tree they're planting. So that's part of their sustainability promise. Other parts include they use no industrial sugar, so they use raw cane sugar that's not been decolorized, no aromas like vanilla or anything anything chemically manufactured, no foreign fats like palm oil. If they do add cocoa butter to their bars, they source their cocoa butter from Trinitario cacao from a small farm cooperative in Dominican Republic. They use no emulsifiers. If they do have at least one milk bar, the Esmeraldas. If they do use milk, the milk comes from Swiss alpine grazing cows. The milk is not, so when you're mixing milk with chocolate, it needs to be dry. You can't mix a liquid in. So it's not, the milk is not dehydrated or extracted with chemicals. It's not decolorized. It's merely had water removed from it. So most industrial chocolate comes from monoculture plantations. So large plantations that have exactly the same genetic variety planted over and over in rows and rows and rows. Original Beans sources their cacao where it grows in the unique regions of the world. And I talked a little bit about the bean team that they have that goes out and works with the farmers, works with indigenous people to source, to collect, to discover these beans. They use a combination of traditional knowledge of the farmers and knowledge of modern horticultural methods and fertilizer and all of that will help it grow, and environmental knowledge that helps sustain forests. So the cacao beans that they are sourcing, they're either wild or semi-wild as mixed crops growing in a rainforest, but they never come from plantations. All of the original bean chocolate is only single origin, and its manufacturing uses only 100% renewable energy. So if you're eating fine flavored chocolate because you're concerned about sustainability, you're concerned about damage to the environment, this is the company that you want to go with. They're all about sustainability and being climate positive and giving back more to the environment than they take from it, including giving back to farmers as well, which I'll talk a little bit more about that. So I was trying to decide which bar I was going to open. Maybe I can tell you a little bit what I know about each of the bars. So this one is a really interesting bar. You can see the elephant on the front there. This one is the Udzungwa, 70% with nibs. So this one comes from Tanzania. Udzungwa is a national park, and it has free-roaming endangered elephants in the park, and the farmers were having problems because the elephants are free-roaming. Wherever elephants go, they trample everything, eat everything. They're very destructive in their migration. So Original Beans teamed with the farmers to create a natural, sustainable fence that for the elephants, and they did this by creating a fence with beehives. Elephants are afraid of bees, and so they created this beehive fence. The elephants go around the fence. It's a win-win for everybody. The elephants are safe. The farmers' crops are protected. The bees are pollinators necessary to grow any kind of fruiting crop. And not only that, the farmers then can also receive income from the honey that they harvest from the bees. So really a win-win situation with this bar that supported that effort in Tanzania. Let's see, what else? There's this one from the Congo. Where's my other Congo bar? So there's 2 bars that they have from these beans from the Congo. They call them rare beans. The Virunga beans. So Virunga is also a national park. This one goes to support the mountain gorillas in the national park and to help sustain the rainforest, to replenish the rainforest from some deforestation that has gone on in the area. This one from the same area. So in the Congo, women are still considered of a lesser status than men. And so this one, the Femmes de Virunga, you can see most of their bars have the animals on it that they're protecting. This one actually has the women. So this bar goes to help female cacao farmers by giving them fine cacao seedlings to grow, by educating them in how they should grow. They support a radio broadcast that helps educate the women and give them a chance to have an income and to sustain a better life. So that one is from the Congo. Let's see. They have some bars from the Americas as well. This is one of the old packages. This is from the Beni. This is the Beni bar. It comes from the Amazon area. The Beniano beans, which I'm starting to see in more and more bars. So bravo, original beans, you're increasing the growth of that tree. Grows wild, collected by indigenous people. They are on like little Amazon islands, and the blue macaw is one of the species that are protected by protecting the forest and replanting and preventing deforestation in this area. So they have so many interesting stories behind all of their bars. I think today I will open, because we talked about this one, open the Udzungwa 70% with nibs. So this is an inclusion bar, which makes it different from what we normally do. So single origin, original beans only does single origin bars. So let's get to this one. We'll open it up, take a look at the package, see what we can taste. Okay, so we are going to open the Udzungwa 70% with nibs. The beans are from Tanzania. They're calling them ultra rare. So like I said, these are either wild or semi-wild, never grown on plantation. Let's see, we've got up here we've got the 1 bar, 1 tree, which I will show you again on the back. They've got their symbol, which is a cacao tree, and the world underneath. Original beans. They are organic. They're certified organic. They're vegan. It is a dark chocolate. And that's one of their mottos: taste the rare and preserve it. Okay, so if you look on the back, I'll start at the bottom here. So we had the 1 tree, 1 bar here. This is the number. If you go to their website, you enter this number, it will tell you where your tree was planted. So we have 70%. It gives you here some tasting notes. Trinitario cacao. So I said they're not really craft chocolate. I don't know how to describe it. They're more about the beans than they are about crafting the bar. There's a lot of makers that just source their beans from a collective or a cooperative or a small commodity bean seller. This one, they get their beans, they source their best, the ultra rare beans, and they're award winning. So this one's won an award for the Academy of Chocolate. It's climate positive, which means it absorbs more CO2 by planting the tree than the bar emits in production. Fair Plus, this is their term. And you'll see that a lot of makers now are moving away from certified fair trade. And I'll talk a little bit about that afterwards. And it is compostable. Actually, in 2019, Original Beans relaunched all of their packaging. So here's an example. Here's the old packaging. The new packaging has the hexagon on it. They relaunched all of their packaging to make it super sustainable. It's fully compostable. It's biodegradable. It's made with, I forget the organization that, there is a forest organization that I can't remember right now that supports their product. Even when they deliver to the wholesaler, when they deliver their package to the wholesaler, they do it in a CO2 negative way. And the packing peanuts that they use to pack it in have enzymes infused in the polystyrene, so that basically they digest themselves in 3 years. They break down in 3 years. So really interesting there. I'll talk about Fair Plus a little more after we've tasted this. Let's see what else is on here. Dark chocolate. Here's the ingredients: cocoa mass, raw cane sugar, cacao butter, cacao beans. So we've got the cacao mass, which makes up the 70%. I don't know, they probably include the nibs in there too, in that 70%, and the cacao butter. For sure the cacao butter, probably the cacao nibs. So some combination of those three make up the 70% in the bar. Let's see what else is on here. Certified organic by the EU, made in Switzerland. Like I said, Original Beans doesn't make their own bars. They source it out to Felschen, who does it sustainably using renewable energy. Okay, on the inside, they have their one tree, one bar promise. And when you see this, you think, whoa, this is biodegradable. It absolutely is. So I don't know if you can see that with the reflection. It says, this biodegradable packaging is produced with renewable materials made from sustainably harvested wood. So they call this wood foil. Completely, you could backyard compost this if you wanted. So that was one of their goals when they did this. So let's open this up. Take a look at these beans from Tanzania. All right. Oh boy, it smells great. Wow, really nice brownie, chocolatey smell coming out of it. You can see the nibs there in the back. Their unique mold design. Let's see if we can hear a good snap. Not bad. It's got 70%, but it does have added cocoa butter, so it's got a little bit not of a super strong snap. There are other bars that have a stronger snap from Original Beans. Let's warm it up a little and see what we can smell. All right, so when I smell this, I get a really nice brownie, fudgy chocolate smell. Maybe a little bit of coffee in there. But when I taste it, I really like this bar. It's chocolatey, then you get orange, and there's just this ever so subtle hint of toffee or caramelized sugar underneath. Really nice, and I really like the texture that the nibs give to the bar. They've done the nibs right. They, not too much, mixed in well. Really, it gives a really nice texture and really adds to the bar itself. So this is a really nice bar from Original Beans. I really like it. Look at the shine on that. Very well tempered too. So even though I say that they're all about the beans more so than the chocolate, it's really good chocolate too. So let's talk a little bit more about their fair trade practice. Okay, so on the back of their bar, they have this fair trade that I want to talk about more. It's not fair trade. Fair trade is trademarked. It is an actual organization that provides a certification. Here's the reason why farmers are moving away from that fair trade certification. It requires a lot of paperwork for farmers who often don't have a lot of education to fill out. It requires a corporate structure in a city like in Germany or in California, where these people have to be paid at that level, which means it's expensive to become certified for these farmers who are often living at just barely above or at poverty levels. So this Fair Plus system through Original Beans, they say they support 175 families, farming families full-time, and 5,000 families part-time. Most cacao farmers' incomes would need to increase just to meet UN level of poverty, which is $1.25 a day. So they are not making a lot of money. Commodity markets fluctuate like the stock market, depending on things like harvests and weather and any other disaster that could hit, overproduction, underproduction, whatever. The commodity price is always fluctuating. The fair trade price is usually 5 to 10% above the commodity price. So a little bit better than commodity beans. But if you're growing fine flavored beans, fine flavored cacao that are going to produce these delicious award-winning chocolate bars, you should be compensated fairly. So, and fair trade does not change the fact that it's an unjust market system where you have these huge corporations taking advantage of small farmers, or corrupt governments that are also taking advantage of small farmers. So this Fair Plus system that Original Beans has, they actually pay 2 times the fair trade price. So the farmers are getting twice the commodity price, at least twice the fair trade price. Original Beans guarantees that no child labor is used in any of the farms where they source, any of the areas where they source their beans, or any of the farmers that they work with. And they also, what they do is they sign a multi-year contract with the farmers, so that it's not living up and down life. Am I gonna, harvest was bad this year, am I gonna not be able to pay for my family to eat, sort of thing. They sign a multi-year contract, high paying, directly to the farmer, that creates a more stability in the farmer's life and allows them to work on cultivating their farms and supporting their families. So that's what it means. So don't be afraid if you don't see the fair trade symbol. That's what this Fair Plus means. It's actually better than fair trade. So I hope that this tells you a little bit about the Original Beans Company. Started in 2008, and they're really all about sustainability, supporting the cacao farmers, and giving back to the farmers, to the consumer, to the earth. So that is Original Beans. Great bars, award-winning bars, created by people who go out and seek the best cacao beans in the world. I think that's all I have to say about Original Beans. So next time we will do another chocolate maker. Not sure who it's going to be. I think it's going to be a European one though. Another European chocolate maker. So if you're interested in getting that, learning about it as soon as it comes out, be sure to like and subscribe so that you can learn all about another chocolate manufacturer. Thanks.